I need release or I'll go crazy. Brother, what you're calling release is actually relief. It's not your biology demanding this, it's your avoidance of emotion. So you've never been taught how to feel your frustration without numbing it.
Welcome to Reforged, a podcast by the Authentic Masculinity Project, a place where we have raw conversation about modern masculinity, capacity, complexity, integration, and authenticity.
Hey guys, and welcome. You ever hear that quiet voice in your head right before you open the tab? You know, the part of you that says, it's fine, you've had a long day, you're not cheating, you're just handling your needs. Like that voice isn't even evil, like it's not broken. It's the voice of a man trying to stay sane in a system that sold him dopamine over death, escape over embodiment, and told him to regulate his masculinity in secret. And today I want to speak directly to that voice and the 10 lies it whispers most. All right. So number one, here we're going to put this in quotes, right? It's better than cheating. And these are the 10 arguments that men use to justify porn use. And this is not a judgment. We're calling out. I mean, the part of being the authentic man, being a better man, is understanding how dopamine works and how you farm it and how you condition it and cultivate it in such a way that you begin using it to become the man that your soul came here to be. So the number one is, it's better than cheating. And it sounds noble, right? Like you're taking the high road. But every time you choose pixels over presence, you're still splitting your loyalty. You're cheating on your own nervous system, training it to crave fake over felt. And cheating isn't just physical, it's energetic. And your woman feels it whether she knows it or not. Another one is I'm single. It's not hurting anyone. And that's what we tell ourselves. I'm not in a relationship, so who cares? But your brain's still listening. Your nervous system is still being wired. You're not preparing yourself for connection. You're making it harder to tolerate the slow burn of real intimacy when it arrives. And so what we see is this generation of men that aren't getting married, men that aren't actually engaging, men that don't know how to approach a woman anymore. And a lot of that has to do with the internal wiring that has been going on because of this, this flood of exposure to dopamine, whether it's porn or whether it's all the other binging of different topics as well. Okay, another one is, and again, each one of these are kind of in quotes, I need release or I'll go crazy. Brother, what you're calling release is actually relief. It's not your biology demanding this, it's your avoidance of emotion. So you've never been taught how to feel your frustration without numbing it. So you default to ejaculate. But real power is learning to stay with sensation until your body learns it's safe to hold your fire. So this is about not just about coping. It is about coping, but it's also about process. Like, can you stay present and take the hits and until it's okay to where you're filling in the blank, even though fill in the blank, I'm okay. That's masculine energy. All right. Another one is she's not into sex right now. I have to handle it myself. I get it. You think you're being respectful, not pushing her. But what you're actually doing is withdrawing bit by bit. You're protecting her from your desire. And in doing that, you stop bringing it. Porn becomes a bypass instead of an invitation to deepen connection. So, I mean, you'll notice the themes of this. We're not, I'm not throwing religion or morality at you. I don't, if you want to have the rubber sheets in the bed, you go fly your freak flag with whatever's, natural and normal for you in your particular bedroom. But what we're talking about is we're talking about men that actually have a purpose, that they came here to do something with their life and they want a soul to soul connection. And we want to call these things out so that we're not allowing, we're challenging men with love and fire. We're not allowing them to lie to themselves. Okay, here's another one. I only watch once in a while. It's not an addiction. This one's kind of sneaky, but addiction isn't about frequency, it's about function. If you're using porn to regulate your stress, boredom, loneliness, or rejection, you're already in dependency. And most men don't realize they're addicted until they try to stop. So if you're listening to this going, this guy's full of shit, I don't know why he needs to get up my business. Why am I even listening to this? And you are utilizing it as a way of consistently resetting your neurosystem, then my challenge to you is just try to stop. And if that becomes difficult, maybe come back and listen and, get some direction to some of the tools that can, systematically give you a map of how to move into a different way of being. Here's another one in quotes. Everyone does it. You're not wrong. I mean, the statistics, 74% of men, 35%, it's of women, it's crazy. But common doesn't mean healthy. I forget how that quote goes, to be uh, healthy in a profoundly dysfunctional society, or to be normal in a profoundly dysfunctional society is not a measure of health. J. Krishnamurti. Uh, most men are walking around disconnected, ashamed, sexually uncalibrated, and emotionally starved. Ask any woman that's on the dating apps right now what she's coming up against, and like what like men are not present. That everyone does it is a tragic excuse when what you need is to stand out, not blend in, right? Okay, I can't sleep without it. Brother, that is not a sleep routine. It's a dopamine dependency. And now the very thing you're using to relax is flooding your nervous system with stimulation before bed. You're not winding down, you're escaping, right? Like it floods the dopamine like 200%, like it's higher than like cocaine, right? You're not winding down, you're escaping. Okay, the next one is I'm not hurting anyone, it's just videos. But see, porn isn't neutral. It's an industry. It's built on performance, exploitation, disassociation, and yes, trauma. Even ethical porn is still training your nervous system to get off to strangers instead of presence. So, like, we're not saying that as a judgment. I'm asking you genuine, authentic questions. What is it that you want for your relationship? Do you want authenticity, or do you want, supplementation? Do you want fake? Do you want, artificial? Because that's what we're training our system, right? All right, another one here is it helps my libido stay active. Nah, that's just not true. Like it's not maintaining your libido. It's actually flattening it. Porn trains you to get turned on by novelty, friction, and fantasy, not touch, trust, or tension. And one day you'll find that your body only responds to the algorithm, not the woman that's actually in your bed. So this is when we can look at men that are under 30. I mean, sometimes even under 20, that all they've been exposed to is just this, menu of porn in such a way that they're experiencing ED, erectile dysfunction at 17, 18, 19 years old. Like it's almost an epidemic at the moment. Um, all right, at least I'm not using drugs. Okay, so dopamine is a drug. And just like any other substance, the more you chase it artificially, the less your brain responds to reality. So you're not better than the guy on cocaine, you're just better disguised. It's hidden. So listen, this isn't about shame. This is about waking up. You weren't meant to handle your needs in the shadows. You were born to press mute. You weren't born to press mute on your masculinity so you don't rock the boat. You were made to burn clean, to use your sexual energy to create, to build, to connect and lead. So porn isn't just a vice, it's a leak. And every time you say just this once, you let the leak keep dripping. So I want more for you. And deep down, I believe that you do also. So if you're done justifying, if you're tired of the loop, then here's your first act of reclaiming. Tell the truth. Look yourself in the mirror tonight and say, this isn't who I am. This is what I've been taught to survive. And I'm ready to remember who I really am. Because once you stop lying to yourself, you'll be shocked at how fast your power can actually come back. Stay in the fire, stay in the process. And, brothers, you're not alone. This is an epidemic my goal is to wake men up. And again, this is not about judgment. This is about the mechanisms of the energetics of, relationship with yourself, your relationship with your woman, and your relationship with the world, what you came here to do. What did you come here to build? And if you don't have that energy of pursuit, and when we're talking about dopamine, we're talking about the energy of the wolf to go hunt, right? If you don't have that energy of pursuit, it's not about pleasure. That's where people getting confused, right? People are they're numbing and escaping into comfort. Get rid of the comfort addiction. And if you can plug up the leaks, close the windows, close the doors, get some integrity, on how your system is handling things, well, then you'll create a container of energy that you can use to build what you actually want to in this world. And that's what we need. We need it so badly. We need you to want it for yourself, to engage in a process that helps you get it for yourself, and then for you to go teach it to your sons, to your brothers, to the other men that are in your life. We need it desperately. Okay, guys. Thank you for listening to Reforged. Remember to like and subscribe for more.